J. Cruz, The Cruise Show, Real 92.3, iHeartRadio, Los Angeles.
What's going on?
Jesse Garcia. You know, that's my government name too, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
is actually. This is crazy.
Man, I feel like I'm looking in a mirror.
Jesse Garcia. Speaking of Jesse Garcia, this is weird.
Igualito.
Look at us, bro. Who would ever thought, huh? Look at us.
Oh, I would have thought, man, this is where we belong. You gotta reach for the stars and believe it.
This is where we belong. I like that, man. Let's go. Hey, Flamin Hot. Streaming on Hulu, Disney Plus, July 9th. Cruise Show, Real 92.3, LA's new home for hip hop. The star of Flamin Hot, Jesse Garcia, my G. Look at you, bro. You're doing well. Congratulations. Great reviews on the movie, by the way. Now, as an actor, do those matter to you? Are you nervous after your performance? Once they say that's a wrap, do you now go into this nervous state of mind, or do you just let go?
No, man, I move on. Like I've already done my jobs. You know, I have zero control, especially just being an actor on a project. I have zero control of what happens with the movie, and I have zero control of what people think about it. You know, and
Sure.
I don't read reviews. I stay away from that stuff.
Good for you.
I don't read comments on posts. I don't need none of that kind of like tainting the experience that I had making the movie and tainting my relationships with my coworkers. You know what I mean? So we had a great time making the movie, and I think it's powerful and impactful movie that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy.
You know, Jeff. Oh, go ahead, Lech.
You bring up the cast, right? We just finished talking with Annie, and you mentioned something along the lines that, I believe it. I'm meant to be where I'm at, right? So it seems like it was a cast full of brown brilliants that are set to break generational curses and are really they really want to leave a mark in this world. That's what I'm taking from, because it seems like you guys are all very in tuned with oneself and want to project that to others.
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate?
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to believe in yourself. You know, I think it's even myself. I talk to myself when I'm saying this. Is like when I have people who haven't been in the industry, or people who are invited to be at events or certain projects or something like that. You know, everyone kind of has imposter syndrome, but we have to believe that we belong in the room. You know what I mean? Like this is our room as well. And it's not like there's a lot to learn, and we can always be students, but we don't have to feel like outsiders.
Yeah, no, 100%. And Jesse, we mentioned that, the movie's getting great reviews. What message do you hope that conveys to other people that are going to go watch the movie?
I feel like it's a movie that's very universal, that kind of transcends any kind of cultural lines. You know what I mean? It's a Mexican, Richard and Judy and their family is a Mexican American family, but I think it's one of those ones where you kind of forget about all that. Everyone. I think there's a specific pride between the Latino culture in this movie. Mm-hmm. Also, everyone else that watches it, they can totally relate. Everyone's been an underdog at some point. Yeah. Everyone's had to have faith to keep moving forward, to keep the dream alive. So there's a lot that people can relate to, and that I think transcends cultural lines.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lech.
At what point in your life did you realize your energy was sacred and it was special, and you can't really just share it with everyone, and you got to protect your space? Because I feel like a lot of people don't really reach that level till a little later down in life.
Yeah, I think we do that in an effort to feel loved, right? Like if we are people pleasers, then people are going to love us back. Mm-hmm. And then when we people please and we give ourselves, we're emptying our bowl for everybody all the time that we have. And but you can do that. You can pour your bowl out for other people, but you have to do it without expectations, right? But you also have to put boundaries on, how much you're pouring out to others, so that you still have some left for yourself. And I don't really know when I discovered that. I mean, it's been a while, and it's been long enough to where I've known how to set those boundaries and how to not necessarily people please while still showing that I care and that I can and love. You know what I mean? And I think other people appreciate it too. You know what I mean? Like, it shows that your time is valuable, and that and if they hopefully they respect those boundaries, that they'll learn how to do that too.
No, 100%. You know, in the preparation for this movie, was there any like carne asadas that you went to with Richard's family or anything like that?
How was the research?
They invited me to their house. Like, I was super busy leading up to the movie. But I went over to their house, and Judy and I was dieting because I was fat from COVID, and
We all gained the COVID-19.
dude, it was rough. But she had enchiladas made, and I was like, man,
You're like,
can't even eat it. It's like, I feel bad for like saying I can't have any enchiladas, but like I'm on a diet right now, and I have 3 weeks before we start shooting. It's like I gotta, we'll do it. We'll have a barbecue another time. But I came over and talked to Judy and Richard and their sons, and we talked about all kinds of stuff, about life and about the movie and how the ideas that were going back and forth. And so we got to sit down and rap a little bit.
Yeah.
You bring up, being scared to gain weight, obviously, because you're in front of camera. Like, I'm sure it plays with the head a lot constantly. Like, do you feel like that limits your happiness that food may cause?
No, once I start shooting, it's like I look like what I look like, and it's if I do the performance, hopefully that transcends what I look like on camera. And I look and go, yeah, I was still a little COVID chubby, but I think I'm really proud of the movie, and I'm proud of what everyone did. And I think the movie's about it's about not necessarily about the food, but it's about family. It's a love letter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, but food, yeah, man, like,
We were just talking to Annie right now, and she said that she was hitting the gym at like 5 a.m. with Eva.
I would wake her ass up and tell her, let's go.
Oh. But it's so good for you. You know what I'm saying? You just end up feeling good about yourself. It's like that instant gratification. Yeah, it's painful, kind of much like the journey. It's you have to endure something. But the thing about working out is it's almost instant that you feel the fruits of your labor. You see it, you just feel good,
We had the La Leaf, the LA Latino Film Festival premiere last night, and
I saw that.
My bedtime is like 10 max,
Yeah.
And I was out till 1, and I got up at 6 this morning to get a quick workout at home. So it was you gotta do it.
You're like, I'm running on fumes right now, just letting you guys know. But how was it working with Eva? Like, as a boss, like, she is La Jefa, we all grew up looking up to her. How was it working with her?
She's a G, man. Her and I are soulmates. We have a special connection that her and I, we were able to communicate with each other. We can look at each other from across the room and just die laughing because we already know what we're thinking. We were at an event yesterday, and we sat separate from each other because we would get in trouble. We're like two little kids. Two little kids at the dinner table. If we would have sat together, we'd have been causing trouble at like a really serious event.
That's the best.
That meant a lot. So the collaboration that her and I and the rest of the cast and crew that we had on this movie was really special. Like a lot of rehearsals to make sure that we got the movie right, to make sure we got the story right, the beats right. If something didn't feel right, if we, it's the first time that I've had a director really ask my opinion. You know what I mean? I came in not really knowing what to expect, and Eva goes, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Oh, dang!" Like, well, this is my thoughts. Then I had thoughts, and she listened to me, and she goes, "Yep, I agree on this. Let's work on this." Blah 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 blah. So it was like that the entire time, and we would rewrite sometimes on the day some of the scenes. Like, isn't feeling right? What can we do? How can we make this work?
So it feels like a collab, right? I mean, at that point, it feels like we're making this movie together. I'm not just hired help. We're doing this together and making sure that this is right.
Yeah. And it gave me a lot of confidence to, kind of take that role when I'm doing other projects, It's like,
yes, sir.
If I'm able to, if Eva's and Devon are giving me permission to have an opinion and have a voice within such a big project that had, a decent sized budget, to go into a TV show or to go into another movie and go, okay, have ideas with other big stars. I did The Mother with Jennifer Lopez, and I had ideas and they listened to me. Like it was my opinions were valuable. When I worked on this was before Flamin' Hot, but when I worked on Ambulance. My experience with Robert Rodriguez and just with that kind of action genre, the spaghetti western type of style, like I was able to have the confidence to say this and this and this, or just try different things. So it's all like, this is all like a learning of like these puzzle pieces to the big puzzle that will never get put together, but it's an exciting.
No, and you mentioned that because like we've interviewed other people and we've never heard somebody say that like we've never heard somebody say that like my opinion matters when it comes to being an actor. It's just like the script, and sometimes it's just like what we write is what you say. But so it's awesome to hear that you guys had that say, you had that like experience, input. And I'm pretty sure because you met Richard's family, it was more of like, I don't feel right about this particular part.
Well, I think for Annie, probably in particular, she really got close with Judy. Because it's a powerful story and it's a beautiful story, but it's also a very vulnerable moment for the Montañez family. You know what I mean? They've worked X amount of years to get to where they are now, to be who they are. But they had a past, you know what I mean? And their past they're also part of their legacy. They're coming from, being drug dealers and, being in the hood and doing what you had to do to survive, to being the Montañez family that now. There's a journey, and, sometimes you don't want to dig that stuff up, but it was important for us to kind of like, we needed that so that we could see them, see their journey.
Sure, Jesse, there's a lot of emotion in this movie. It's left and right from the beginning to the end. Where did you pull from, and what was the most emotional scene in the movie for you?
I mean, it's going to sound weird, but I don't work from emotions, right? I work from the relationships. I work from whatever's happening. In the situations within the scenes, where we are in the arc of the movie and the arc of the story, and probably like, well, I think the most intense scene was one with Emilio Rivera when he plays my dad Vacho. That was like, all of our scenes were always like, they're pretty heated, you know what I mean? And there's a buildup. I'm not going to give anything away, but there's a buildup to what our relationship ends up being, and that was probably the most emotional storyline in the movie for me. And it was just him and I. Everyone's got their, like, if you ever talk to them, you should talk to Emilio at some point, because
that's my guy, man.
My dude, man.
Yeah, he's scary. He's such a nice, scary looking guy.
He's such a sweetheart, man.
Fucking sweet, but he's scary as fuck.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But he's everyone, I think it was a lot of that stuff was cathartic for a lot of people, a lot of different actors, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bro, did you hear that some schools are banning hot Cheetos?
I did not.
That is happening, bro, which is a crime, I believe. You feel me?
Yeah. We get the petition going. I'll sign it.
Let's go. Go fund me everything.
Quick question, Jesse. The important question: hot Cheetos with lemon or tapatio, or hot Cheetos with cheese? Which one do you prefer?
Oh man, see, I get this question and I don't know how to answer it dishonestly. I missed the hot Cheeto train. I missed that movement. You know what I mean? So like I'm from a small town in Wyoming, and we didn't have that. You know what I mean?
No way.
No. So, and by the time hot Cheetos started coming around, I started eating super, super clean. So I I've had Cheetos, like a normal Cheetos when I was a kid, but I also, again, I grew up in Wyoming. I didn't even think about putting tapatio or anything on my Cheetos. I missed that.
Dude,
like, I also missed like having, I didn't grow up putting hot sauce and all that on my fruit. You know what I mean? So like I missed, there's parts of like the food culture that I missed just because I wasn't around it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Wyoming can feel like a whole new planet. I went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, not a hot Cheeto in sight.
Yeah. Yeah. Some hot snow bunnies though.
Yeah, talk to me. That's right, Jesse. Let's go. They
Jesse
are
got it
around.
tight. That's
Hey.
right.
Jesse got
For
it
the
tight.
papers.
Hey.
Jesse Garcia, the star, man. He stars as Richard, the creator of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Flamin' Hot is streaming on Hulu, Disney Plus, July 9th. Perfect for the summer. We salute you, Jesse. Congratulations, man. And thank you very much for your time and energy, honestly.
Thank y'all.
Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Love,
Yeah,
brother.
nice to meet you. Talk to you soon.
Yeah. All right. See you
Ciao.
soon, buddy. Yes, sir.
Yo, check out more of our YouTube interviews now, ASAP Plus. Download the free iHeartRadio app so you can check out the Cruise Show podcast.